Hi, and welcome to GENO'S Picks, presented by the SBRforum.com. Love these people for sticking by me. I know I went 2-3 for the third straight week. In fact, I'm thinking of changing the name to McQueery's Picks. Think about it, 40% accurate, and while everyone begs me to make the right choice, you're sitting there getting screwed. I know. If you didn't like that joke, you're going to hate the one we do for the Raiders. But let's get to it, people. But first, you know what really grinds my gears? This Occupy Wall Street has gotten ridiculous. I was watching it yesterday after they cleaned out Zuccotti Park, literally of people, so they could clean it of the mess. Some kid had the balls to compare themselves to Rosa Parks. Really? You're like Rosa Parks? I don't think so, because Rosa Parks was fighting to get credit from white people that they never gave black people. She wasn't sitting down like you people, begging for white people to forgive your massive credit card debt. Oh, and by the way, here's another way you two are not similar. Rosa Parks was coming from her job. People, earn your own money, pay your own bills. And speaking of making money, let's get to the picks. My first pick, another Thursday night pick. I'm undefeated with them so far. The New York Jets are giving 4.5 to the Tim Tebows, that's right, of the Denver Broncos in Denver. People, I love the Jets in this game, and let me explain why. Tim Tebow is the only weapon they have. And if you have a great defense like the Jets that can shut them down, well, then I think they're going to have a lot of problems. And you look at the other side of the ball, I know my boy LT is out. But don't worry, because even though he's out, he's replaced by Joe McKnight, who I think is the best pure runner on that team, and he's going to run hungry. And I'll tell you, he's a lot better than that bust, Sean Green. He has done nothing. He needs to sit down like he is in that picture and realize he just never panned out. And I'll tell you something else. Mark Sanchez already got the worst play in NFL history out of his system. So all that the defense of the Jets needs to do is shut down Tim Tebow. Because last week he was 2 of 8 with his completions. And don't tell me Eric Decker's any good. Because when he goes to Eric Decker, it's a lot like that scene in Ray Charles when his wife hit his drugs. Yeah, exactly. You take a lot of desperate shots at him. And the only ones you hit, well, you got to make them count. People realize something. I love Tim Tebow, but he's all the Broncos have. And since John Elway left that team over a decade ago, the only time you've heard the phrase plenty of weapons in Colorado, they weren't talking about Denver. They were talking about Columbine. Take the Jets, lay the 4.5. My next pick. The Green Bay Packers are giving 14.5 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Green Bay. If you're asking why I'm talking so loud, Joe said if I shouted loud enough, maybe Geno from last week would hear me. Screw you, Fernandez. All right, he's right, though, and I like the Packers this week. And obviously, because if you watch the Monday night game, not only did they blow out the Vikings, but they showed consistency in blowing everyone they face out. Even Matt Flynn got into the act and scored a touchdown. You know why? Because Aaron Rodgers is just an incredible quarterback, and the Green Bay offense seems unstoppable. And I've had it with people bashing their defense. My buddy just today brought up a great point. Are you sure their defense isn't any good, or is it just that they're always in the prevent? Sure, teams like the, Chargers 2 weeks ago came back and made it close. But when you get offenses like Tampa Bay, whose quarterback is Josh Freeman, backed up by Josh Johnson, both of whom stink. In fact, if you Google the words Josh Freeman, Josh Johnson, and Pro Bowl quarterback, it'll say, you must be Joshin'. That's a cute joke. People, the point is Green Bay is a great offense. And if you're worried about laying 14.5 points, let's play a game. Tell you what, name Green Bay's punter. Exactly. If it takes you more than 14.5 seconds, lay the 14.5. It's Tim Matsay. Take the Packers. Which brings me to my lock of the week. It is my lock of the week. When I screen the Raiders for a pick, it's usually right. The Oakland Raiders are traveling to Minnesota and giving 1.5 points to the Vikings. People, I don't care if they're playing this game in Oakland, in Minnesota, or in Lake Erie. There is no way Oakland should only be giving 1.5 to Minnesota. They're terrible. And this is the kind of game where everyone goes, wow, that line is begging to be teased. No. If I tell you the guy that saw a little boy getting raped by a man didn't report it and didn't hit him is named McQueery, that's a line to be teased. If I tell you the guy that raped the little boy has a autobiography out called Touched, that's a line to be teased. And if I tell you this piece of garbage pedophile, when interviewed by Bob Costas this past week and was asked if he was sexually attracted to children, paused, repeated the question, and said, no, but I enjoy young people, well, that's a line to be teased. But unfortunately, much like this gambling line and those 3 lines, All 4 lines are freaking absurd. Take the Raiders, lay the 1.5, and just put that guy in a chair. Which brings me to your double your money Monday night bet, people. The last time I got a Monday night bet correct, it was when Painter lost by less than 7 to whoever, I think it was Tampa Bay. All right, let's get to it. The New England Patriots are giving 14.5, another 14.5 line, to the Kansas City Chiefs in New England. People, the Kansas City Chiefs stink. Before we even get to their quarterback situation, let's talk about that 4-game winning streak. They beat Minnesota with Christian Ponder in his first real start. They beat the Colts, people, with Curtis Painter, who just stinks. They beat Carson Palmer and the Raiders, I should say half Palmer, half that other guy, Bowler. And then they beat the Chargers, and they didn't. It was Phillip Rivers fumbling that snap. Oh, I see that in my sleep. People, we take you live to the picture I wake up to every day. Ah! None of those were actual wins. And now, instead of facing those 4 quarterbacks, they're facing, who's this guy? Tom Brady. Oh, yeah, Tom Brady. He's pretty good, people. So he is going to beat the crap out of them, especially because Bill Belichick is pissed. He's pissed. Showed it when he beat the Jets. And let's talk about what's going on behind center for the Chiefs. Their starting quarterback was Matt Castle, who stinks. And now he's replaced by number 4. Yeah, Palko, Tyler Palko. Yeah, I never heard of him either. You know why? Because both of them stink. And whether you're betting on Matt Castle, Tyler Palko, or a slot machine, any way you slice it, you're wasting your money on something with one good arm. And by the way, it's the left one. People, take the Patriots, lay the 14.5. Those are Geno's picks. Did they shoot that Sandusky guy yet? Did they?